And there are a host of factors, but a big part of our problem is the money is broken.
Yeah, and I mean that's an important point, and we've spent a lot of time on this show um, um, dissecting and complaining and railing against the damage caused by lockdowns and all of the authoritarian measures over that period of time. But none of it could have happened if it was not for the ability of the government de facto to just print a lot of money we didn't have. So we monetized those trillions of dollars, which was a huge redistribution of wealth away from people that have paper currency in their pockets.
Yeah, I mean, it massively hurt the purchasing power. Even some people were happy because, oh, I have these dollars. They were, just airdropped into my account. Bang, here's more cash.
Yeah.
But the reality is, once you started seeing asset price inflation, the wealthy people don't hold their wealth in U.S. dollars. They measure it in dollars, but it's held in real estate or stocks or bonds or other assets, and those assets appreciate, and so the wealthy get wealthier, and they're not doing it right if they don't. Right? That's the way the system works. But on the other side, if you don't have a lot of assets, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you've got a pension, you don't see your purchasing power able to cope with that rise in assets. So in a way, it really has robbed you. Even if you've risen, it's taken away your ability to maintain the same standard of living.
Yeah, the numbers are bigger, but your shopping cart is more empty.
Absolutely.
Thomas Massey, your colleague, called those initial tiny payments compared to how much money the government was spending. Those initial payments to people under lockdowns were the cheese in the trap. And people thought it was free money, but now when they go to the grocery store, hopefully some of them are realizing that they've been had.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a sophisticated form of theft, though. I think a lot of people don't connect the dots, and that's why central banks and governments get away with it. And is it just in America? Why we have inflation in other parts of the world? Well, because they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. And quantity theory of money works the same way. You print the money. It causes monetary inflation, causes asset price inflation, causes consumer price inflation. And when we're the world's reserve currency, we can get away with it a little more so than another country. But, it does tie back to ultimately the amount of money the federal government spends and how much debt you have. I mean, we have a debt to GDP ratio of over 120%. Historically, that's when countries go into distress and people start talking about defaults.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us are surprised that it hasn't been more disruptive than it has been, but it strikes me that some form of reckoning is always on the horizon, and maybe that's a reason why the Federal Reserve seems so passionate or robotically moving forward on a central bank digital currency, because it's the ultimate tool in their kit to manipulate the supply of money and how we use it.